All right, so what I'm going to show now, like the tools that I will be using are not released yet, but because we were still working on it and they're still under development, but these two that I will be showing are fairly done. So we might be able to release those two, and yeah, anyone who is interested, please just talk to me and Martin about that. All right, so I have here this vegetation. We can see it. I don't have here XConf. Let's this is a vegetation of disturbance. I think I chose. Let's just quickly see what's here with XConf. So this is the disturbed fraction of vegetation, just as an example. If I plot the first, yes, this is basically the map. Now, let's say I want to get all the values. I want to change this and get all the values that are above 0.9 to 0.9. This is very straightforward, but okay, then first, what I'm going to do is I will convert the vegetation to netcdf. Then I will change my netcdf file, and then I will reconvert my netcdf to fields file. So to convert the vegetation file, in this case, to netcdf, I use, now, I was this tool, um2netcdf, um2nc, with vegetation, and I put my output. So I'm running, okay, it's already done. Now it produced this vegetation.nc, and I will now show you what's there. I'll prepare this Jupyter notebook. Let's run it. Okay, now I will take this file and, all right, I loaded it with xarray. This is the vegetation.nc that I produced. And as you can see, it has a bunch of data variables produced by that, but the main one that we're interested in is this that doesn't really have a name, but this one is the variable. So this happens because in this case, this current variable is not in the stat file that we are using. Otherwise, it would have a more sensible name, but we don't really care because in this case, it's the only variable. So we take that and we plot it just to show you that, okay, this is the variable that we're looking at. And as we can see, there are some variables which are above 0.9 in yellow here. So now what we do is we keep a mask for the length C mask, and we change all the values that are above 0.9 to 0.9, and we plot the new one. So as you can see, the new one, the color here is green, like this one, maximum. So we changed it. And now we will just disregard this for now. Is just something for the current status of the tool that we're going to use to modify our ancillary file. But we're working on improving that so that we don't have to create this fictitious level and time coordinates. And we create the netcdf. And now the vegetation new netcdf should already have been created. Let's see. Okay, it's here. Now, what do we do with this new netcdf file? We will convert that to fields file. To use that, we use this modify ancil tool. Again, as Martin was saying, creating a fields file from scratch is fairly complicated because you would need to know a bunch of other things, but modify a pre-existing one is rather easier. So what we do, there's a help here to know a bunch of informations about that. But what we are interested in is the input file, so the that we want to change, the netcdf file that we're going to use. So we use, in this case, our input file is our vegetation file. Our netcdf file is the vegetation new. We called it, yes. And okay, I'll try like this, but it will give me an error, and I will show you why just quickly. Because right now, the new netcdf file has a latitude and longitude named lat.lon and no latitude and longitude, and it doesn't recognize that. So we need to add this. Sorry. Okay. I have to redo this, but new that, okay, that's new. Okay, and then latitude and lat, because it's called lat, the longitude. Long. I hate this, but should work. I don't know why it's doing. Okay, now you wrote our modified ancillary file, and if we look at this, there is the veg modified. I didn't specify an output name, but the default is modified appended to the name. So if we see that with xcom that I have to do here, veg modified, you will see that this is exactly like the starting one, but with the fields up to 0.9. And we'll see. And as you can see here, there's not one anymore. So every value is 0.9 now. Like it's not clear, but if you want to look at that again. We can just compare quickly, just to show you that. All right, this is one, and this is the other. Just waiting for them, but so this is the original one up to 1, and as you could see before, the modified one we'll put here. It's a bit of time, but it will go up to 0.9. So it's actually the modified one. Yes, that's it. And yeah, and you can see it's slightly different just because of what we modified. So this is to show you a very quick example of how to modify an ancillary file with some of the tools that we developed. Again, these are for fairly easy modifications. So in cases where you don't have to touch the Lancy mask. For those other cases in which you will touch the Lancy mask, you will need some more tailored, for now, applications. And but we can definitely discuss maybe with the different people about that with Dimmer as well. So yeah.
Thank you, Davide. That was quite interesting. So basically, if I understand correctly, let's say if you wanted to just get rid of the Himalayas, you could do it fairly quick, like easily with the topography, right?
Yeah, you will have to change the topography, the orography in this case, and you would, yeah, change the Himalaya height, for example, and then you do exactly more or less what we did.
But in the same kind of scripts that are already
very
there.
similar, yeah.
Things that don't change the land sea mask are quite straightforward in general. It's changing the land sea mask that gets tricky.